Hi everyone, it's Sunday, December 23rd, time for another HideNet Week in Review. I'm Vice President Vera Dordick. From Italy this week, European editor Andrea Guolo writes that during the week, European tanners wound down their operations for the holiday period. The majority are going to reopen the week of January 7th, but a few of them will be returning to work at the end of the first week. The period was generally pretty quiet across all the origins and selections. As always, there's good interest in British hides, such as the 36 and up, but now it's even greater because the pound is at 90 cents against the euro, and this happened at the same time the dollar got stronger, so it made it cheaper for Italians to buy the British hides. Andrea also offers his end-of-the-year assessment this week and gives a look ahead at what 2019 may hold. Remember that not long after the start of the year, the next round of fairs begins, which can give us a sense of where things might be headed. So you'll want to see what he has to say about the coming year. Turning to Latin America, editor Ronald Guiel says that this week raw material producers gave in to the heavy pressure that's been in place for quite some time. They lowered their prices on fresh hides by 10 cents in reals, which makes it an average of 32 cents per kilo in U.S. currency. With regard to TR1 prices, they were relatively unchanged and in the range of 60 to 63 cents. In other items about the Brazilian market, the Confederation of Agriculture and Livestock of Brazil has proposed a bonus system to help boost the quality of leather in the country. The system they would like to see would define a bonus for producers who deliver leather that has above average quality, such as hides without defects like brand in the wrong place, scratches, or ticks. With regard to footwear in Brazil, the standoff with Ecuador over footwear tariffs that is linked to the 2017 ban on the import of Ecuadorian shrimp, believe it or not, is still unsettled only because of bureaucracy and paperwork and should be resolved quite soon. And speaking of footwear, we have news from the country's association that represents the footwear industry that 2019 could hold some improvement for the industry, so you'll definitely want to read that story. From elsewhere in Latin America, we have news that the Port of Buenos Aires has announced a $2 billion modernization that will increase capacity, that a footwear brand is closing its factory in Argentina, and another brand is shuttering a factory in Chile. From Mexico, we have news that the leather zone in León is having issues with informal street vendors in the area. And also the U.S. has changed the branding rules on cattle from Mexico, which we cover in the Latin report as well as the U.S. report. So you can get details on that in either one of those. And speaking of the United States, prices were steady to lower this week, with most steer selections able to fight off the tide of low bids. One packer said that even though next week is a holiday week, it could be a good one thanks to late week business that could be concluded over this weekend and the start of the week. Cows, as usual, continue to be a struggle. Many sellers are forward sold, albeit at what they call lousy prices, but the bottom line is they can turn down even lousier bids at this point. Taking a look at heavy Texas steers in particular, sales took place at $29 on seasonal weights, which is steady to last. The volumes available were not plentiful, mainly because packers have more heavyweight material at this time of the year. With regard to the export numbers, they were significantly better last week, with sales for the week and for 2019 well above slaughter. Shipments, however, did not exceed slaughter again. In our market observations this week, we wrap up the year and take a look at the opinions that our sources have about the hide market in 2019, be they optimists, pessimists, or realists. That's all we have for this week and for 2018. As HideNet begins its 42nd year of service, we always keep in mind that you are the reason we exist, and we want to remind all our viewers that as you enter the new year, remember that if you've got health and love, cherish it because there's nothing more important. Happy holidays, Happy New Year, and we'll see you in January 2019. Good night.